Okay. It's still going on. Believe it or not, with everything, it's still going on. Today is September 1922 at 11:38 a.m. Walmart hair salon. Some idiots walk in and try to defend Will. Well, Will was supposed to take care of her. We found out he did, or something like that. They're rambling about it. Well, he called her a liar to see if he could get her to say it. You don't say you're lying no matter what. You're a victim of violent crimes. Your life is at stake. There's been attempts on your life. And when you try to report it, some idiot threatens to arrest you if you say it again. And you either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail or arrest you. That is tampering with evidence. That is obstruction of justice. Tampering with witnesses. And victimizing a victim. There is no excuse. It comes down to there is no damn excuse. Like the guys that watch me, there's no damn excuse. There is none. And you can't bully somebody into saying they were lying, or you'll put them in jail. Especially when it's like, whatever. Fine, whatever. And he could have, it should have been, my God, Karen, let me pull the surveillance. Let me see if I can't get it on the bank, if witnesses around. Because I've even tried to tell him about the lady getting paid to stalk me. Somebody had hired her, and the banker was screaming at her, "You liar, you confess." I had to witness him screaming under tape and audio at a bank, and the guy's threatening to knife me by the ATM. And there's Huntington Bank's cameras, and there is Giant Eagles. He didn't want to hear it because he already took a payoff. Just like, do you know if he has a girlfriend? Well, I honestly don't know. And some guy's rambling about it, and he said she doesn't know. Stop. Okay? Just like if I'll list you informant, but you tell someone I'll list you crazy. You know why he said that? Because he didn't want me to tell, so I die. And they could do whatever they want. That's not legal either. My one friend that worked at the prosecutor office, he said nothing that agent said was legal. No, it isn't. You can't victimize a victim. You can't set them with no way out. And you can't call them a liar when they have crucial, vital evidence. More likely they called them that day. That's how bad it is. They probably called them. Or they called someone to call them. Or the Pizza Hut lady called them. It's that easy. Because September 21st, 18. I told you I went to Giant Eagle. And where are you at? And I'm buying something for dinner. I got a phone call to make. And I get my groceries, I get a flu shot, sit down on the bench, I get dizzy, and then I can't believe she's here, and it's the same voice of I got her hood up over his head. I'm like, oh my God. And I go to walk off, he comes right by me by the ATM. I'd stab you right here now if it wasn't for that security guard, and I make a beeline for the bank and open an account. The Pizza Hut lady, I get paid to watch her. Somebody was paying her to stalk me. And the banker screaming at her, stay out of this. It was a fiasco day. Yeah, well, it was just corrupt. It was dirty, 100% dirty. Everything he did on a recorded line, he can go to jail for it. So those idiots trying to make an excuse for him, for mistreating a victim, for victimizing a victim, setting them up with no way out, and then tampering with evidence, obstruction to justice, threatening a witness of a victim of a violent crime, that they'll go to jail for saying it. You can't do that. I almost hung up on him. The only thing he said legal, and he knew everything. Everything. He knew everything. October 2nd to the 3rd, 21. I'm at Mercy Medical. One of the, I always call them protected white people. There's some kind of security hired from the state. Wonderful, sweet people. One of them's out talking to a Canton officer. She's an informant. All these people are lying on her. Well, I'll make sure no one says anything to her. I go in, and there's some mean girls in there making fun of me for being raped. Uh, well, within a few days, now that was October 2nd to the 3rd, because I was over there at night, Mercy Medical in their emergency room, okay, of 21. And within a few days, we're at Walmart West Tusk. They come in and they're complaining about everything, and they said that was Will's mean kids making fun of her for being raped. Why they do that? Well, they're friends. Friends with retired Judge Pete. We're August 10th to 11th, 22. Walmart 62. They tape throughout the whole place. They start following me around. We call Will and explain Michelle, and he set it up. No one ever help her. And it's actually funny. People are going along with it instead of doing the right thing and help her. Well, someone needs to do the right thing. He was very corrupt, very dirty, and in his own admissions, in his own words, on a recorded line, bullying a victim and a witness to staying quiet. He can go to jail for the rest of his life. And then setting it up so that there's no way out, yeah, he can go to jail. Okay. Yeah. And like my one friend that worked at the prosecutor's office, nothing he said was legal, except for the form of thing. Put me in police protective custody. Had an officer talk today per requirements of Department of Justice to be in somebody's home. June of 19, I worked at Pizza Hut in Canal Fulton. This guy showed up, and I'm clearing off the table. He starts talking. I look at him. He starts talking. He said, I overheard a bunch of them say that they're going to try to get a group of people together to beat you, take you out to a field and beat you to death. He said, I tried to tell someone, they wouldn't listen. He said they got it planned. And I thought, well, I'm supposed to be stabbed to death in a field south of Ravenna. That's the final plan, because they play with me. And, but I think that's what this is. Where they broke in my door within the first 6 days, knocked it into the wall. You scratch off the paint where the doorknob is, and there's actually a great big patch where they set up their illegal cameras. Then where I was getting sick, and I had bruises I couldn't explain. They were date rape drugging me, telling me to say stupid stuff and then lie to people. They had sodium pentothal reports. Amnesia drugs you don't ever remember. There's a whole list of them. You're sleepwalking, like my neighbor Mike. I went out of my apartment early in the morning last year, and he came up to me. I got a problem, and I said, "What's that?" He's like, "I don't know how I got home." I'm like, "Just go sleep it off." He's like, "You don't understand. I've been sitting there for hours, and I don't know how I got out of the bar." I said, "What do you remember?" He said, "The second beer." He's a big guy. And he said, "I got a worse problem. I got $80 in my pocket." I said, "You better check your bank." He took $100 out. He's like, "But what was in the box with mustard, and how did I change my shoes?" I said, "Just go sleep it off." I realized they roofied him. He went back to that bar. They let him watch it. Tape and audio in a bar. 5 months later, during the second beer, he started talking crazy, telling everybody he was an astronaut and other people to F off. He said, "I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I have no memory of it. It's the weirdest thing watching myself act crazy." They let him drive around high like that all night. They think they're funny to play with people. They could have told him to say something crazy and he'll never know it. It's date rape drugs. It's how these idiots get women out of bars and restaurants and take them home and rape them. And they have no memory. I talked to the nurse at Altman Family Physician. She's like, "There's a whole list of those amnesia drugs. You're sleepwalking." They're considered human slave drugs. It's not funny. still looking for someone to find help. The lady, Canton investigator, that was out by my clients on Turquoise Street in Canton. June 7th, I walked out, and where Canton's been all over this. They're looking for the people that did the tapes before. They already know they're altered by all the witnesses going to the police of the photoshopping of a shower scene, I guess, and drug confessions, where I woke up with bruises. They're not funny that retired Judge Pete for his stupid baby girl and that occult my ex-husband went to. Are not funny having people stalk me, Photoshop me, and date rape drug me while they're stalking me in my home. They didn't have a court order. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, and they have to speak to everyone before they started. It's abuse and misconduct, and it's legal search and seizure, and they can never even look or listen to it. It's the law. You have a right to privacy, a right to remain quiet, a right to an attorney. You also have a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond, and you have a right not to be mistreated. This is that crazed occult, and none of this is funny. They're just insane on ungodly levels. And I know Canton's looking for that Steve and Eric. I mean, Maslow's looking for Steve and Eric, and they're looking for that Eric Canton for trying to help him get away with all this. They're wanted stalkers. And it's not funny that people that stalk me and date rape drug me, that people make fun of me for them being assholes and I guess photoshopping shower scenes and other stuff. I don't know. Because the comment was they photoshopped everything. They already flat out said it was a shower scene in the other room. Over 10 people told on them to the Canton police. And for the drugs and told to say stuff. I've never talked to anybody. Where I was getting sick on my ex-husband's drinks and I thought he was poisoning me. When people run around saying crazy stuff, it's the cover your ass thing. You know, I taped him along with the police. It's the same thing the police have during the Karen Around the House state case or the Karen's Well Matters who's talking about it. It's the same thing they do. Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You wouldn't hurt anybody. No, I wouldn't. He threatened to kill them all, though. But, yeah, it just, they went as low as they could be. That retired judge become friends with my ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, and then they got caught making up mean games or pretending, like Officer John said, January 12, 22, to some goons follow me. Well, those kids get caught stating they made everything up. They're documenting me games and pretending. Other investigators, we interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. That lady, officer said we found out everything about her. She don't even have it in her to hurt anyone. I can take a lot of abuse, but I know what it's like to get hurt, and I couldn't do that to someone else. I let these people go after me when Dave threatened to kill all my children. That's why the good officers will scream at people. Karen's one of the best women you ever meet in life. Don't you ever disrespect her. It's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good and love. And Karen's a victim of an occult that drugged her and tried to kill her before. And don't you ever disrespect her. She almost died to save those people. That is what the good officers call me. And how they refer to me as. And for we all know this woman's innocent. And I wish people would step forward. And the retired sheriffs that I talked to, they're like, we know there's a judge's family involved. But people need to do their damn jobs. And they do. And honestly, this makes our nation and our legal system a disgrace. You know, Maslin will tell everybody, oh, she's innocent of everything. Because they watch my daughter-in-law, Dixie, because they've watched the whole case. And, yeah. Even the Starr County sheriffs were laughing at that. Weird Kurt. If Kurt just found out those kids were lying, he's left. They're documenting me games of pretend because they got caught stating in the basement on Thanksgiving of 18, a legally bugged house. For the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. And then later on the floor, we're making everything up. They're documenting me games of pretend because that retired judge's family, thought it was funny to go into Mean Games and pretend, knowing my house is bugged by the police, and other police stations could see it, and it's as if they wouldn't say something. And these people are so advanced, they hacked into a police protect a lie case and sold it to regular people, so it's common knowledge. Someone does need to help me.